Hey!
And we're back. Did you miss us?
And even asking where the video has been. Our schedules have been very crazy, so thank you for your patience.
Trying to get off, trying to do this together.
Yeah, we do one video per year, and we are back for 32.
I kept bugging the hell out of him. I was like, when are we going to do this? When are we going to do this? When are we going to do this?
And I said, I put my foot down and said, you know what?
Let's do it.
We're doing it.
It worked out, but yeah, like you said, our work schedules weren't really lining up. And then I've been busy with other stuff. He's been busy, and everybody's just been...
Well, I'm also planning a wedding, so I have that also going on. So I've been very busy with that. So it's just been crazy. So.
Yep. And right now, as you are watching this video, it's funny because on this exact date, we just got our next house announcement for Halloween Horror Nights this year.
8 of 10 announced. We're not telling you what it is.
So we won't spoil it, but it's going to be cool. But yeah, so Halloween Horror Nights 32.
Yes.
This was a good year. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the icon.
Yep.
I really enjoyed. I think this was a long time coming for all of us,
mm-hmm.
especially for this icon, this specific icon that we were waiting for.
That one over there,
which we'll talk about. But overall, I mean, if I compare this one to 31, ooh, I know a lot of the houses this year have gotten better for this one.
Yes.
Whereas I feel like 31, the houses kind of went a little bit like this, but the zones went up. This year, it kind of burst. So it's like scare zones kind of faltered, but the houses kind of went up.
Yeah, I thought our scare zones
better.
Last year's event were really good. So,
but I mean, overall though, we love the event, and this year was my 19th year of Halloween Horror Nights for 2023.
Mm-hmm. I think it was my 16th, if I'm correct. I started in 2006, so I believe
it's a good one.
I believe, yeah.
This year will actually be my 20 coming up.
Oh boy,
big year, 2020. 2004 to 2024. So, I'm excited.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna dig right in, guys. Yep, we're happy to be back. We love doing this for you guys, so please enjoy. This is where we get to vent about everything from this past year's event. So, what we got?
We have two catchphrases for this year's theme. Yep. It was "See you in the fog," which, as you can see, it's on the shirt behind us. It was on a lot of promotional, and it's also on our wallpaper, which you just saw in the beginning of the video.
Yep.
And then, of course, we used the same theme for, I think this is the third year that they used it, was "Never Go Alone," in which the whole thing revolves around your Scream Squad and certain things that you do.
Ah, yes, the Scream
It's always
Squad.
said, never go alone. Well, someone tries to put that theory to the test, and they say, "Oh, well, it's fake. You never go alone. You still survive." Fate has a way of coming back for you.
Yep.
So the location of this year's event is the same as what it was, Universal Studios. The icon, we'll talk more about the icon himself, like more of his backstory later in the video, but it is Dr. Oddfellow. And
that guy over
the guy
there.
on the shirt. But you'll learn more about his backstory later on because he ties into another specific icon.
It's actually a story I really love too.
They really meshed everything together.
I love it
because we've been waiting for this guy for so many years. Like, when are we gonna do Oddfellow? When are we gonna do Oddfellow? Like, we got to get him in.
Yep.
Because his famous backstory through another icon, and finally they said, "Okay, this year it's Oddfellow." So it's like, okay, all right, finally.
Yay!
The theme around this event was a circus spiraled into chaos and a haunting history into Universal Orlando's past. So again, they're relating to the theme of the icon, and they tied this theme into the overall theme of the actual event. And then I'm going to have Justin read off the dates and the hours and the ticket prices.
All right, so dates, guys. We went from September 1st to the 3rd. because remember, Horror Nights is not every day, so these are going to be split. So September 1st through the 3rd, 6th through the 10th, 13th through the 17th, the 20th through the 24th, 27th through 30th. Then we hit October's dates, 1, 4 through 8, 11th through 15th, 18th through 22nd, 25th through 29th, aka 31st, because it's the Halloween, you know. And then we have an extended additional dates, which are that run past Halloween, which are going to be November 1st to the 4th. Not the first time we've done this, gone into November, so, but it doesn't happen every year, so just keep that in mind. Hours ran from 6:30 to 2 a.m. We loved how every night was 2 a.m. because it just gets stressful when you have only the 1 o'clock or whatever, and you have less than that extra hour not to do so much.
Which was officially announced at last year's event.
Yeah.
That now the event will close every night at 2, because before it used to be like they had 6 to 12.
Yep.
Then it was 6 to 1, and then it was 6 to 2.
Yep.
Or 6:30, sorry.
6:30, yeah.
So when they finally decided, you know what, we got rid of the 12 o'clocks, the 1 o'clock nights have to go, so now every night is 2 o'clock in the morning, which is great.
And it really gives people a chance to do more things too, so I like it. I mean, you don't have to stay till 2 a.m.
No, but that extra hour, like you said, really gives you, because on the 1 o'clock nights, you're like, damn, if there's only one more hour, it really gives you that extra push to be like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Like, we can go through it.
Especially also helps the people who can't afford Express. So just to be able to see just a little bit more, you know?
That's why when I tell people, if you're only here for 1 o'clock, take advantage of early park admission.
Here's a little side note here. What does it do every opening day? Rains. Event operation, it's rain or shine. Now, with that in mind, the scare zones most likely will not go if it does rain.
No, the scarecrows will go in, but all the the fog and everything will continue running.
It's not going to be the whole entire thing like you would normally have it on scare zones. But houses, full go. Now, depending also on how much rain we get, because sometimes they do end up flooding.
Yeah, we've had that a few years. We actually had that issue last year, I think, with 4 houses. In the back. It's always in the back of the park because the back of the park is like a giant mud hole when it rains, so it's like rock and sand. Yeah. So when that stuff builds up, it flows into the back of the tents and then starts flooding up to ankle deep water.
It's very rare. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen. Now we're going to move into ticket prices. Your single night ticket was starting at $79.99. Your single night express pass with that will be $109.99. Your Rush of Fear, these are now going into the passes, which we love. Rush of Fear is $179.99. Your Rush of Fear, if you want to tack on with express, will be starting at $529.99. Because remember, when you add on Express, this is when that price goes up.
And every year, I think for this year's event, I think they shot everything up by another 50 or 100
something
on top of whatever it was.
But you got to remember, guys, it takes a lot of money to build this stuff.
We were shocked when the ticket prices came out. We saw how much that we were going to pay for our pass. We were like, oh man, that's a big jump. But hey, you know what?
Hey,
we're fans of the event. I'll pay it. I mean, you go 3-4 nights with your pass, you pretty much paid off your ticket, so you're good.
Hashtag Scream Squad. So anyways, you Rush of Fear with Express, it starts at $529.99, like I said. Then you move on to Frequent Fear, it's going to be $229.99. You tack on Express with that, starting at $609.99.
The next ticket is actually ours.
Yes. Okay. So this is the one that we always go to, that we love to enjoy and get, and that's going to be the Frequent Fear Plus, with the single one being $269.99.
Not our version.
Now, I wouldn't recommend that because we have to have Express.
Yeah, you can't go to the event now without Express. It's too busy.
So with Express, we paid $699.99, and then you got to also factor in the tax as well. So you are paying about that.
That's the one that we did.
You're basically paying about that $700 something. And remember, with me and my fiance here, we buy 2. So do the math. Ultimate Frequent Fear. Now this is the highest you can go, $374.99. You get all the dates with that.
This is for the real freaks who want to go every single night that you can.
You get all the nights.
If you have no life through those few months, this is the one for you.
Okay, so but the thing is, you can't go without Express. So when you tack that on that bad boy, it's $919.99. That's huge.
I just heard thunder.
Yeah, I think it is raining outside.
And then they did something new this year.
Yes.
They actually released a pass for those who have bought a daytime ticket, but
Yep.
also want to come in early to do Halloween Horror Nights
Yes.
and do a stay and Scream.
Yep.
It's called a Scream Early Pass. We've never done this before.
Yep.
And for an extra $40,
Yep.
if you didn't buy a day ticket and you want to come in and do a stay and Scream and do the stay and Scream or Horror Nights, this pass is for you.
This gets you in.
But if you have an annual pass or a normal day ticket, you're doing Horror Nights. This you don't need.
Yeah, you don't need.
This is only for those who did not come into the park during the day, who did not buy a park ticket.
I was helping some people with that because they would go and do that. They would have a pass. They would have their Horror Nights pass, and then they would buy a Scream Early ticket. And I'm like, you don't
need the
need
Scream
that.
Early.
So.
If you have if you have a daytime ticket and a Horror Nights pass, you're pretty much set to go. This is for those people who only bought Halloween Horror Nights and possibly a Horror Nights Express, but they want to come into the park early.
Yep.
Then you would get this one to actually give you that extra leverage. Which, like I said, for those who want to get in and get started early, I mean, this is a great way to go.
Yep.
Especially if you want to do stay and Scream.
Yes.
This thing is the best. Like, this thing will really help you.
Yep. And all those tickets, it looks like, I guess, went on sale March of last year.
Yes.
Or we got our express passes also on the same date. Our multi-day tickets went on sale on July 13th.
Funny that we just mentioned that because we're still waiting. It's literally the end of June right now that we're doing this.
Yep.
So we are waiting anxiously for Halloween Horror Nights 2024 for the frequent Spirit passes. I'm nervous about the prices, but then again, I'm not worried because I'm like, hey, I've saved up. I'm ready to go.
But if this says July 13th for the last year's event, I'm assuming
it's probably might be earlier, hopefully.
Then you had your RIP tours and your Unmasking the Horror tours went on sale on the same date as well.
These are fun.
The RIP tours start at $299.99. And the Unmasking the Horror tours, they do start at $119.99. Now, I do say start. So these depend on basically, I'm assuming dates and everything.
Dates as well as there is a 3-house lights on tour.
Yep.
Which does 3 of the mazes. And then there's the 6th house, which you do 3 houses, you go on lunch, and then you do the other 3.
Yeah.
So I have a friend that did it, and they said it was a lot of fun.
We have a picture of the map itself. So this is going to be it right here. Now, we do have some info on next year's event.
And the good news is they didn't mess it up this year.
Yes.
Horror Nights 31, where they placed on the original map, 2 of the houses were in the wrong position, so they had to switch it back.
So this was your map, basically. It just gave you basically details. There's a code on the back of it. You can download the app and everything. Gives you all the things about the merch, the food, all that, and you open that bad boy, and bam, you got a map.
Trust me, that food and the merch is the big piece of the...
Yeah, it's basically a handy guide or whatever for people who are just now starting to go, who don't really know technically too much about the event like we do, but it's a nice source to have. But there's a side note to this. Starting for next year, there might be something that might happen with the maps. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we may not. We may not have.
We may or may not have them.
We may have digital only.
All right. So moving on, we are now going to go to the milestones.
I have a few. I actually right before we started shooting this video, I actually was sitting here adjusting, going, okay, what milestones did we need? Mm-hmm. So I have a few. The first one is our first house announcement. Okay, so. I remember this like it was clear as day. I was with Robby. Were you with me on Halloween?
I believe so.
Yeah, we were in line for Hell Block.
Yes.
We were in line for Hell Block, and our good friend Jake, we'll give you a shout out, buddy. He actually messaged us saying, hey guys, I don't know if this is a joke or not, but they announced our first house for next year, and we're like, what the hell are you talking about? It's still the end of Halloween Horror Nights 31. And he's like, dude, they announced Chucky. I'm like, nuh-uh. And I jumped online. We were standing in, I kid you not, we're standing in the express queue to go in the Hell Block Horror.
Yep.
And I pulled up my phone and I'm like, son of a gun, they did. They announced our first house for Halloween Horror Nights 32.
I think we talked about it too a little bit in the last video.
So it was like, I don't think we've ever had a house announcement that early.
It's just like the previous year before this, there's like, here's Chucky for next year.
And the fun fact was, it was in October. So our next house announcement for this year's event for 32 wasn't until March or April, I think it was
somewhere in there. Yeah, somewhere.
But we've never done that before, so that was a good one.
Yeah, that was cool.
As we just discussed, the Scream Early Pass. We've never done this before, and we've had a lot of people complaining about, oh, I would love to get into the park early and do Stay and Scream, but I don't have a daytime pass. So I guess they came up with an idea like, hey, okay, you want to do it? You pay $40 to come in, or you get this pass. It gets you into the park an hour, I think it's like an hour or two before park closing.
But you do need to get into a holding area right afterwards.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah, you have to go to a holding area because the holding areas stop at 5 o'clock on the mark when the park closes, because that's when they lock it in.
Security sweeps.
And our, like, the team that scans tickets goes back up front to get ready for the opening. So it's kind of a big thing. I tell people, if you're doing a Stay and Scream, get in there early and don't leave. Because if you leave, yes, you might have checked in, but you left the area. So therefore, security most likely will probably kick you out with the rest of the guests.
Correct. Yeah, and then you're going to have to basically wait until the opening ceremonies to basically go through the actual front gate with your ticket.
Or another time, security will be nice enough, and they'll walk you back to that holding area, or you may not be able to get into the one that you were in earlier before you left, so they might walk you to whatever's closest to the entrance of the park and then have you wait there.
The best thing you can possibly do is find out what holding area you want to do first before you get there.
Each one's open up to specific houses. Our favorite one that we like to go to is New York a lot of times, because it opens up to some of the big houses. I think you get like
4 houses, like 3 or 4.
I think you get like 3 of them. I think 2 of them are originals and one's an IP, or vice versa. Every year it changes. Same with Central Park. Central Park opens up to 2, sometimes 3 now. Because it was always like the back tents, one of the tent houses, sorry, and then the 2 parade buildings in the back. So therefore, I mean, you could choose a line, and that's over in Central Park. The front of the park holding area, it's not really technically, I mean, it is now. Out by Today Cafe, it's actually does not open to any houses. Although, last year, I think halfway through the event, they did allow them to go through Blood Moon early, as soon as they opened up. But they still have to wait until the ceremonies are over. So if you lock down at Today Cafe, just know there are no there are no early admissions into the houses for that one.
Yeah, it's basically just a holding area so you can see the ceremony.
Yes, and if you want to see it, get a good view of the ceremony, that place would be the one to go. So
we'll have that for you a little bit later on.
Also, we have a debut of a historic icon. Like I said, Dr. Oddfellow has been a long time coming. This icon ties into, I'm not going to say who, I'm going to wait until we get more into his backstory later when we talk about the house. He ties into another specific icon who is very well known around Halloween Horror Nights lore, and he ties into this. So we all kept saying, okay, we saw this icon. When are we going to get Dr. Oddfellow? When are we going to see the bridge of the storylines and the timelines come together? This year they finally did it. It was very well done, like we were discussing, how well they weave the story together into the other icon story, and just like Oddfellow's own creation of the story. But I really enjoyed it. Death Eaters in Diagon Alley. All right. Due to, I think there was construction work. No, I'm sorry. It was due to the castle show at Islands of Adventure being shut down and being worked on to a new show, which is currently running. They decided this year to move the Death Eaters from Hogsmeade in Islands, and they put them in Diagon Alley during Halloween Horror Nights, which was a new thing that you've never done.
It's actually really cool.
So when you walk into the London area of the park, it's just normal. It's not. There's nothing creepy about it, because they can't do anything creepy to Potter without permission.
Correct.
But when you step into Diagon Alley, that's when things get a little bit darker and a little bit more spooky. And it was actually a nice flair that they added to it, because it's something. I mean, we've been wanting. We've always known the Death Eaters to be in Hogsmeade, but for them to transition them that year over to Diagon, that was pretty cool, and possibly this year, who knows?
You would walk in literally and see nothing but slithering green.
And they also they were also running around. They had spell things set up so like the Death Eaters would walk around a specific location, wave their wand, and smoke or sparks or something would shoot out of something.
Now I didn't see it, but I also know on the actual stage that they have over there, they also did like a little bit of a show.
Yes, they did.
So,
I didn't get to see it, but I was with one of my friends, and me and her sister walked through, and we were checking out the Death Eaters, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
So
one sneaked up on me one time. I did not expect that, and I'm walking, and he's literally right here, and I'm like, oh, hello.
Another milestone. Over at the Orlando International Airport, they opened up a new terminal. Terminal C, I think it's called.
Yes.
They opened up a all year round Universal tribute store. Mm-hmm. Kind of like how we do at Universal Studios for Halloween Horror Nights and all events.
Yes.
As well as Islands of Adventure.
Yes.
Well, with the new terminal, they see fit to let's decorate it for Halloween. This is the first year they did it. They actually themed it to make it look kind of like a lot different than what we got for Halloween Horror Nights in the park, as well as a lot different than Islands. So it was kind of like its own conjunction. Yeah. But it was cool for those people getting off the airline who were coming to Universal or HHN.
Get a little taste.
And it was really neat to see because it was like, okay, you can pre-buy your merch when you get off the plane, which was smart because that would allow them to sell more merchandise. I mean, now not just spreading it out in the parks and City Walk. I mean, now you're spreading it out to Orlando, like, airport, which, I mean, it's a big travel destination for everybody coming in for Universal and other Orlando theme parks.
Just get a little taste.
So it's really, really cool. Another one was, over by San Francisco, behind Pier, was it 56 or 26? Right behind Lombard's Landing.
Yeah, I believe so.
They built a bar this year. It's called the Peacock Halloween Bar.
Yeah.
Because the name, this was also a big year for Peacock, the streaming service that Universal Orlando has created.
Yes.
And Universal Pictures. They decided to see fit and do a theme based on Halloween horror, and everything that, like, movies and stuff that you would see, like The Purge, Black Phone, anything like that they brought to Halloween Horror Nights, or stuff that screams Halloween.
Yep.
Well, the bar itself is like, they had drinks from, like, the Grabbers, like, tonic or something like that, so they would create custom drinks.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, and it was literally like a lounge bar, so they had, like, music playing. But what made it really cool was when they had David S. Pumpkins walking around doing photos, doing the questions. You know, he does his classic lines.
They would also have a character out sometimes from The Purge out there.
Yes, out front where the photo op is.
They would also do that, so you would get a little bit of Purge in there.
It was really cool, like, and I'm hoping maybe they'll bring it back this year. Who knows, maybe. But, and my last milestone I have, this one was interesting. I didn't do it, but a friend of ours did it. They did a pre-tasting of the food from Halloween Horror Nights.
Yes.
You paid a little extra. This happened the month of August.
Yep.
Before the event opened up, and it was called A Taste of Terror.
Yes.
Which you would, like, they had booths set up for, like, like they had, like, The Last of Us, so they had, like, the ravioli can, which we'll talk about later on.
Yep.
All the food, you get to pre-taste the food and give your review to the cooks, and so they can figure out, okay, what's going to make it to Halloween Horror Nights and what's not. So, same with the alcohol, but you had to pay extra for the alcohol. The alcohol was not free.
I actually have photos of that, actually, to share with you guys, so. Yeah.
So, but, sorry, I have all my milestones on my phone. But, yeah.
Is that pretty much it?
That's pretty much it for that, but overall, good milestones. I mean, every year, and it's really hard because you're doing the milestones, like, literally, I literally just did it today because I had to remember. I was like, wait, what did I do this year that was I mean, I should do it the year of, but, you know, I mean, between going to Horror Nights, working a lot, me working on my custom audio collections that I do for Halloween Horror Nights, which are a lot of fun.
Yep.
So it takes a lot of my patience away from what I'm working on. I'm like, what if I do this? Wait, no, I can't do it, because not yet. I don't want to take away from what I'm doing. So, But
anyways, before we go ahead and get into the haunted houses, like I said, I have some of the pictures that you guys to see the taste of fear. So if you guys want to see that.
Yes, that's right. I forgot.
Yep. I'm gonna.
Sadly, we don't have video of this because we didn't get to go. But Justin did have a few photos that he was able to.
Yep. So I'm gonna throw those in.
Enjoy. Alright guys, so before we get into the houses, you guys are probably wondering, someone's missing on this video this time.
Yep.
Fortunately, Robby is working on his YouTube channel and doing other things, but he did say he was going to come back for next year's Horror Nights and wanted to give it variance. So he came with us for the last two videos, decided to skip out this one, but is doing next year's. But you guys have got to see his YouTube channel. If you guys are into old vintage retro games and all that stuff like that, Robby does all of that on his YouTube.
Good stuff.
He is amazing at the video editing and gameplay and all that stuff like that. I've actually helped him do some audio work for some of his videos. He sends me the files and I clean them up and send them back for editing purposes. But we're going to go ahead and post the link at the bottom. It is Retro Robby on YouTube. He's got a lot of subscribers, so I want to try to help him get higher. So if you guys do get a chance, go over, check out his page, like, subscribe, hit a notification bell so every time he uploads, you'll get a notification. But I want to help him get higher up on YouTube because he's one of my longest running buddies of almost over 20 years, I think, that we've been friends. But that's why he's not here with us. However, he will be with us next year.
Good bud of mine too.
So, but I just wanted to give a shout out to him. So, Rob, that's for you, buddy.
Shout out.
So, we're going to go ahead and jump into the houses. The first house is Chucky, Ultimate Kill Count. The house location is the Fast and the Furious Q. Inspired by the hit USA and sci-fi series and cult classic films, Chucky Ultimate Kill Count casts this killer doll as a star in his very own haunted house. For the first time. A true sadistic killer, Chucky has been mired in agony of the disrespect and feels from his peers and not being taken seriously. Thus begins his quest to turn his haunted house into a living slaughterhouse by killing every person who enters. And we actually have the artwork
Yes.
as well as a teaser video for this one.
Yep.
So let's get into that, and then we'll discuss the house.
Yep.
So just be ready. Sharpen those knives.
Don't mess with the truck.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Boom! Yeah, that's right. I'm back. And I'll see you suckers at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights next year.
An all-new haunted house, inspired by the hit USA sci-fi series Chucky, is coming in 2023 to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando Resort and Universal Studios Hollywood.
I can't wait to play.
And catch new episodes of Chucky Wednesdays at 9 on USA and Sci-Fi.
Back.
Hope you enjoyed that. And like we said, as they said in the video, that, you know, that's why we said we got that 22 during Halloween.
I enjoyed the house itself. I mean, at first I didn't understand it until the second time. When you entered the house, you're entering through somebody's queue. So it was kind of like, wait a minute, like, okay. Well, first we went through, one part of the house was not operational, that was the video. The audio was playing in the background, but we're like, okay. So it kind of threw us off, and then I think it was the week that they got the houses, or that they got the video up, so we're like, okay, it makes sense. The thing that I remember most about this house was, I just remember, like, the first half of the house was based off the actual films.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the kills and stuff like that. And then at the end of the first part, you enter a gift shop, and Chucky's like, see you later, suckers. Hope you enjoyed. And we're like, wait, that can't be all. Well, until you walk outside, and then it's the second half of the house, which actually a lot of the kills were based off the TV series.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I see how they did this now. But I just remember walking through going, wait, like, I was so confused with the house, like, the first time I went through going, wait, what?
But everybody was confused because everybody who went in there said the same thing you did. That's it. And then you get to the second part, and then you also have a guy, remember we have the scare actor who's in the
that was yelling at you, don't go in, he's going to kill you.
We
kept teasing the guy.
What did we do? We went in.
We kept teasing the guy because the few nights we walked by, he's like, guys, don't go in there. You're gonna die. You're not gonna make it. And I said to the guy, I was like, come with us. I guarantee we'll work together. He goes, no, man. He goes, we're all gonna die. I was just like, okay. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the house itself for me, like I said, it was hard to grasp at first, and then when I went through over and over and over, the house actually kind of grew on me, and I'm like, okay, I get it now. But before, I wasn't very, like, I was a little skeptic. I'm like, okay, but, I mean, I liked it. I mean, what do you think?
I liked it a lot, too, and the thing that I thought it was really good, and I liked hitting the trigger when you go in there, you hit the trigger.
Oh, in the Christmas room.
In the Christmas room, and then you would have, like, the fog come out of the fireplace or whatever.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't know about that, so...
And what's funny is, if you look hard at the fireplace, I didn't notice this till I looked down. It's actually Chucky's head popping out the bottom of the fireplace with a chainsaw in his hand. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Because when you hit it, there's smoke in the Christmas room, and then you hear the sound of the chainsaw, and I was like, oh, okay, that's a cool little scare.
Chucky's always been a cool guy. I'm always a big fan of Chucky, and if you guys haven't seen the actual series, definitely check that out. It's actually a really good show.
And I remember meeting the guy who plays Chucky, Brad Dourif, who is actually really cool, and I remember asking him, how long do you intend on playing the character role? And he goes, oh, till the day I die. He goes, it's one of my favorite roles that I've ever done. So it's really, really cool. But
also, if you want to give Chucky a call, dial 201-500-3347, and that is a real number.
But overall, the house was really good. I mean, it wasn't on my tops, but it definitely was pushing its way up.
Yes.
But I'm going to let Justin talk about the next house.
We're going into the next house. All right, so the next one is gonna be The Last of Us.
This was my number one
Yep.
anticipated IP, and man, it carried.
So
It carried.
the house location is B108S. It's the parade building number 2. The house description reads, set in a ravaged civilization where infected and hardened survivors run rampant. Naughty Dog and PlayStation's The Last of Us video game, which celebrates its 10th anniversary this year, has captivated audiences since its release. And now, guests can immerse themselves in a real-life experience that puts them directly into the game's frightening world. The Last of Us haunted houses on both coasts, because we did do this in Hollywood as well.
Yes. Yep.
It's a shared property. Will propel guests into a world of carnage and mayhem as they follow in the footsteps of the game's protagonists, Joel and Ellie, who endure a brutal journey into a world overtaken by a fungal virus that turns humans into various forms of new threat known as the infected. As guests encounter the infected, runners, stalkers, and clickers, along with the hunters, a band of hostile humans, they will need to navigate the Pittsburgh quarantine zone, including iconic locations from the video game such as the creepy, desolate, the Hotel Grand, and labyrinth of dark and dank tunnels, in a desperate attempt to escape and survive.
And we actually have a photo and a video.
Yeah, for this one, so please enjoy, and hopefully it's not the last of you.
Watch out for clickers. Your favorite. I can't do this. I don't like it.
I don't like it. Stop it.
I still can't do the voice.
Guys, I'm telling you, it's real.
Why are you so obsessed with this universal legend?
You'd think I'd be used to them by now.
Thanks for paying attention, Jordy.
Sorry.
Alright, just skip to exactly 32 seconds in the video and
Jeez, another conspiracy theory? There's no hidden gem in the park.
Hey, are you guys seeing this?
Step into the world of The Last of Us. Only at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights.
And that was The Last of Us. So, and it hopefully will not be The Last of Us.
Oh, jeez. Too soon. Too soon.
Anyways, my thoughts on this one were, I really enjoyed it. I also love the TV series, so it was really a fun way to basically put yourself in Joel and Ellie's world, and what they have to go through after the world basically comes to an end.
Yep.
So, and
It's
I love the game too. I played the game too. I own this game. I haven't played the second one yet, but this one is really good, and I thought they did a really good job bringing this life to basically this world to life. It was on my top. I really enjoyed everything besides the clicker noise, shall we say. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Like, it's just, I went in there when the very first time, they remember I was very nervous. Every time I hear that sound, I don't like it.
I remember giving you a heads up before we went into the room.
Yep.
Like, because you're like, oh, let me know which room, and then all of a sudden, come around the darkness and you hear that. I was like, we know what that is. We were like, Justin, clickers.
But yeah, it was nice to see all the different elements of the video game coming to life. The runners, the stalkers, the clickers, the hunters, the bloaters.
Yep.
Just everything in one place. They did a great job with all the sets and designs. And,
Yes.
It was a great job by the creative team, so kudos to you. All right, what did you think?
I really enjoyed this house. It was my number one IP. I never played the game, sadly, because it is on PlayStation.
Boo.
It's not on Xbox. But you can play it on Steam. I really enjoyed the TV series as well, so I'm excited. I was excited to see the house, and I'm in love with the TV show. Can't wait. Season 2 comes out hopefully next year. But the house itself was kind of like walking through the old Walking Dead. I mean, the way the sets were
Love Walking Dead.
and all that stuff. And I liked how they went to great extents to bringing in the two voice actors who played Joel and Ellie.
Yep.
Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker.
Yep.
To come in and record special audio. Walking through this house, unlike Justin, who hates the clicker sounds.
I don't like it.
I actually found them interesting to see how they do it, especially when you watch the behind the scenes of the TV series. And they show how they do all, like, they're sitting on the microphone going, ah, ah, ah. I'm like, that's weird. And I'm a sound designer, so that's kind of cool. I love how they did the suds for the spores. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
The bloater scene was cool. And I love when all of our character friends would jump out and do stuff to us. They would scare us and then show us some love. The soundtrack was exactly, it's just like, it's ripped right from the video game. Not only did they use the first video game, but they also used Left Behind, which was really cool.
Yep.
But the whole house was based off of the game, the first game.
Yep.
So maybe this isn't The Last of Us.
Yep.
We might have more in the future. Who knows? But I really enjoyed it.
I remember too when you first went into the house too. You also heard the calling out or whatever on the microphone.
Oh yeah, if you are harboring
So-
the infected, you will be executed at the extreme counts because you are harboring infected.
Yep.
If you go out, do not go out alone. Make sure you go out with people.
Yep.
And if there's too many people, like too many infected, don't try to overpower them
Yep.
because you won't.
All right, we're gonna go into our next house.
This one's a strange one.
Go ahead.
Stranger Things season 4.
Yep.
House location is Soundstage 23B.
Okay.
And the description reads, "This year's petrifying haunted house will once again transport guests to Hawkins, Indiana, where they will encounter the newest supernatural villain, Vecna, who is hell-bent on obliterating the volatile barrier between the eerie upside down and the real world to attempt to reign supreme." And we actually have a photo and a video for this one, so beware of the upside down.
And if you hear the clock, run.
Thanks for paying attention, Jordy.
Sorry.
Alright, just skip to exactly 32 seconds in the video.
Jeez, another conspiracy theory? There's no hidden stuff in the park. Let me text Jordan. Okay, I gotta go. Ava's almost here.
You good? Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Escape Vecna's curse. Stranger Things. Only at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights.
All right.
we're back.
Yes.
This house was really good, actually. They did a good job. It's probably my number 2 favorite house out of all the Stranger Things houses that we've done. Number 1 is still the best. 2 for me, I think, was on the 3rd, but this one actually jumped up to number 2.
Yep.
Very good set design. The location of it was really good. A lot of classic, iconic locations and characters. I mean,
yep.
The music in it was a lot of the. It's funny, they didn't use any of the score, but they did use a lot of Running Up That Hill, and of course Master of Puppets.
Yes.
But the score itself was from another album. Overall, it didn't really have a lot of scares. Like it was more like about the theme and the design of the house. But for me, I just didn't. I mean, it was cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. But yeah, what'd you think?
I really loved it, and I'm a big, huge fan of Stranger Things. I can't wait for the new season. Anytime a new season comes out, me and my fiance, we have to binge it right then and there. So we really love the series a lot. My favorite part in the house was actually when you went in and you saw Eddie on the guitar rocking out to the
Master of Puppets, Metallica. Yep. Classic song. Classic sequence.
I just love how they shot that scene because it was such an iconic scene in season 4. Like, you could not do a house without that scene in there. I wanted to make that clear. It better be in there.
We had a friend of ours in this house who was friends with Lucas, so props to you, buddy. You got
Shout
us
out,
every
buddy.
time.
You did a great job.
Love it.
But overall, I really like the Stranger Things. I'm with him. I thought this one definitely jumped up to about that 2 range.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing still better than the original.
The original had the most detail. That was the thing about it.
It was just some iconic year.
I mean, walking through the Christmas light room with the Eggo waffles sitting on the table.
I loved
it.
It
was like, oh my god.
But yeah, Vecna is a big character, and I do like him a lot, but this house was really
sad to say, the next season is going to be the final one.
Yes.
So we may only have one more house
might
in the
have
future.
one more left in us. All right, so with that, we're going to jump onto our next haunted house, and this one I will take the reins for. Cha-ching. It is The Exorcist Believer, and this house was actually my favorite. This is actually my favorite house. I don't know why. People seem to not understand why I liked it, but and the description reads, the house location is Soundstage 22.
Yep.
House description is inspired by the Universal Pictures' terrifying new horror film from Blumhouse and Morgan Creek Entertainment. The Exorcist Believer haunted house will unleash an entirely new level of terror to the Halloween Horror Nights. In this new chapter, guests will be transported to a bustling street market in Haiti, where an innocent purchase of strange folk doll with 3 eyes leads to the opening of a demonic portal, the awakening of sinister spirits, and the subsequent disappearance of 2 12-year-old girls in the U.S. The girls are found 3 days later with no memory of what happened to them. After the girls begin to exhibit unsettling behavior, it soon becomes clear that only an exorcism can save them. And everyone who comes in contact with them, including unwitting guests, is suddenly a risk of losing their souls. So, we have a photo and a video for this one, so please enjoy. And
get exercised.
It might make a believer out of you.
No. Bad. Bad.
This week, we'll be talking about a conspiracy over 2 decades in the making. We'll uncover the truth about what's really going on at Halloween Horror Nights. The signs are everywhere, hiding in. How many times have you gone to rapes? Yes,
drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop.
What the?
and think it's all an act. Those of us who ignore the signs and go alone. Chen is more than just a legend.
The Exorcist Believer, only at Universal's Halloween Horror Nights.
And we're back.
Don't possess me. I'm just kidding.
Too late. I don't even have to do that.
All right. Anyways, the
I'll let your
Exorcist Believer.
fiance possess you. There you go.
It might work. The Exorcist Believer. This house was my favorite. I love The Exorcist. I've always been a big fan of the very first original one. It's a very iconic film. And this kind of ties into the original. So
it's like a rehash.
It's kind of like a rehash. If you ever seen the movie, got to see the movie, you guys know that some of the original cast came back. Obviously older, but and it was based off of that movie. Basically, they released the house before the movie.
Yeah, we haven't done something like this at Horror Nights in a while, where they actually did the house and then they did the movie.
It was really hard to kind of figure out because nobody had a chance to see it before you went into the house.
You're going in blind. You're going in kind of like blindfolded, not knowing what the hell is going on.
You didn't know what to expect.
Like, okay.
And I actually like that. So, but this was this was my top house. I loved The Exorcist Believer. It was just, I thought, like, really, like, creepy when you got into even further and further into the house. And, like, you'd see, like, things in the windows flashing. Like, everything was literally, like, taken over by demonic demons. And it was creepy, dude. And there was always one scare when you came around the corner. And you probably remember this, the girl that was over there when you came around the corner, and she'll be on the right-hand side, and she comes out real fast.
Oh, yeah, right before you go into the house sequence.
Yeah, that scare got me all the time. I tried to even sometimes avoid it, and it would still get me. So it was just a really good overall done house, and it's definitely my favorite. So
it's funny because I went and seen the movie after going through the house, and the house itself was actually, sorry, there's a fly. It was actually, the house actually made it a lot better because from what I found out from one of the designers, when they designed the house, they actually used the original script from the film before the edits in the film were made, because in the movie you didn't see the demon at all. So, and from what we found out, they edited them out of the movie. And they're going to save it for the new movie coming up, Exorcist Deceiver. I think it's like 25 or 26.
Can we do another house, please?
But the creator said, we kept in the demon sequences as transitions from scene by scene by scene, and then a big finale. And it actually made the house a lot more different. And the only big difference between the movie to the actual house was, in the movie, they put a curse on the baby. Before it's born, and then there's an earthquake that kills the mother, but the babies can be saved. Whereas in the house, it was a possessed doll that starts the possessions, which was another change in the movie that they kind of changed last minute. But overall, I liked the house. It was very well done. You heard the famous score going through.
Classic.
A lot of the sequences were really scary. I mean, I kid you not. There was a time when we went through them, I was jumping. I was like, oh shoot, okay.
Yeah, and as the year went on, it got better and better and better.
The one scene that always made me jump every time, I remember when we first went through, was when we were in that dark hallway and you hear the body and the blood, and all of a sudden, boom, and we're all just like, oh shoot, like, because you're in a dark hallway, and there's walls, but on the other side of the wall, it's a mirror. So when the light turns on, there's a loud sound, and then there's someone standing behind the wall, and they jump, and you're like, oh, okay, all right. But no, the whole demon sequences, that was really cool. At the end of the house, how you were walking through this red blood nightmare, like, okay, what is this? And it's like, okay, it's the demons, like what's inside the demon's mind. So it's like, okay, I'm excited to see what the next movie will bring. But overall, great house.
I just remember too of another scare that got me actually real good. The one where you're coming around the door and she's hiding behind the bedroom door.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big one, too. It got everybody.
Another thing that was unique about the house, too, and every year they do this, is the scents. Because this one had, we joke around, we call it the 3 Ps. The first one you encounter is pine. Because you're in the woods, going through the sequence. The second one is puke. pea soup smell, because there's a scene where she's like throwing up, and then poop, which in the I think in the Hollywood house that scene was changed so it smelled like urine going through the house, so it had like ammonia, and it was like ugh.
True fact, we did kind of a little bit similar to this in Psychoscarapy back in 2006.
Yep, that's right.
We kind of did mess with smells with that.
It was really strong sometimes going through. Other times I didn't really smell it. I guess you get a keen. Yeah. I guess you get attuned to it when you go through multiple times.
For sure. So,
but our next house is Universal Monsters Unmasked, and the location is Parade. We use this location a lot. And the description reads: lurking 60 feet beneath the bustling streets of the City of Lights, the dark catacombs of Paris house a much darker secret. The all-new haunted house Universal Monsters Unmasked takes guests down into the infamous burial grounds where every corner and crevice overflows with millions of skeletal remains and even more sinister secrets. Deep within the catacombs, Universal's most notorious creatures, the Phantom of the Opera, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, Dr. Jekyll and his deranged alternate personality, Mr. Hyde, and Dr. Jack Griffin, also known as the Invisible Man, also lie in wait as they bide their time and seek vengeance against guests after the opening of the catacombs to public visitation. These desperate and dangerous fiends have become filled with rage towards guests navigating the twisting tunnels of their underground labyrinths of home. It is here in the darkness where they hunt these trespassers and where the sounds of guests' screams will go unheard. Now, we don't have a video for this one. They didn't release a video, but we do have the artwork, so we'll see you after that.
Yep.
And don't get lost in the catacombs, whatever you do.
I'll just swing from the bell with the Hunchback.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
And we're back.
Yes.
I actually enjoyed this house. I'm a huge fan of it was actually my number 2 IP, and it pretty much did very well. I liked. The only thing that was weird was there was a lot of curtains used in the house to secure, but it was cool though because you were walking through and all of a sudden someone would jump out. And you're like, oh shoot! All right. I liked the beginning of it where it felt like you were in Paris, so it was like the police constable was up there yelling at you, "Oh, you need to get indoors. There are 4 killers running around." The Phantom of the Opera. His character in this one was more like Leatherface. So instead of him using masks to hide his deformed face, he actually used human skin. So it's kind of a little bit more demonic. Mm-hmm. And what's funny is this house actually, everybody in the house actually used a knife, a blade of some sort.
Yep.
Invisible Man. It was a short segment, but then again, for his character, it was kind of hard to really fill him in.
He was the scariest one, honestly. He creeped up on you.
Because it was in the because I knew who it was.
Yeah.
Like you go into the Paris catacombs, and then all you see is like flashes of electricity, and then you just see a hand or something jump out. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Props to my best friend who was in this house, who would jump out and grab me on the shoulders and shake me going through. That was fun. And they brought back a classic, iconic special effect that we haven't seen in a house in a while, which is the spine rip.
Yep.
When he ripped out the person's spine, I was like, oh wow, that one I haven't seen.
Yep.
And of course, I also loved the ending with Hunchback, because I knew one of the Hunchbacks, and one night when he's on a bungee cord, so when he leaned over, he actually leaned over and gave me a high five.
It's my favorite scene. I love that scene.
And then, of course, they brought back something that we had in this same house that we had last year. In this year, it was the triple scare, although this time it was 4 scares at once.
crazy.
So at the end, all the monsters jumped out in the catacombs, and it was like one big jump. You're like, oh, okay, I'm out of here. But I liked the music in the house. It was very unique because it was something like that I'd never heard before. Like they were using different sources.
Yep.
And I know they re-recorded some voices for the house, but I do know I actually heard a fact that they actually used the original recordings, I think, from Invisible Man, because the guy who played him obviously passed away, so they can't reuse his. They can't get him to record unless they found someone to re-voice it. But overall, out of the Monsters house, I think this one has to be my number 2 because we've done 4 Monsters houses in the past. I'd have to say 2019 was still my favorite one. This one, I think, runs up to... I want to say this one's my second favorite now.
Yeah.
Legends Collide is 3, and Bride runs 4.
We're having that happen a lot. This becoming your second favorite.
I mean, it's just... I don't know. But overall, great house. What'd you think?
Liked it a lot. Like I said, the Hunchback thing, the part with the swinging bell thing, that was iconic. That was my favorite. I would always wait, like... as much as I could before the line tried to push me forward or whatever. I would try to wait until he came at me.
He's the reason why there are stops in the house.
Guilty as charged. But anyways, I love the house a lot. Universal Monsters are our baby at Universal, so I love the way they did the Phantom of the Opera, like you said, with the human skin. And the Invisible Man got me the most out of anyone, and you wouldn't necessarily think that, but it's just the way they placed him.
He's invisible; you just can't see him.
It's just like bam. So all in all, great house. I love the Universal Monsters. This one, I'm gonna agree with him. It's probably my second favorite. Just there is no beating 2019. I don't think, because that one was too iconic.
Yeah, no, because they had everything. They had a lot of they packed a lot of punch, and that was the first time that we've seen this.
Yeah,
and I think. The more I think about it now, with them doing all these Monsters houses, it's definitely leading up to Dark Universe in Epic because they're taking the original monsters and making them more like spooky, more creepy, more gruesome, which is really cool to take an iconic like the Frankenstein monster and make him look more evil, or you take the Mummy and he looks like a zombie from The Walking Dead with the like creepy face, and it's like. Okay, and now you did Phantom of the Opera where, okay, he's kind of like Leatherface using human skin. It's like, this is cool. Like, I would love to see...
Yep.
I mean, hopefully maybe we'll get another Monsters house this year.
Yep.
Who knows?
I would love to actually get together with you guys and with him and do a Dark Universe video when it comes time.
We're planning it.
We'll
we were talking about it a few days ago about Epic Universe because they just recently announced the Dark Universe, and I'm like, okay, this is so far my number 1 anticipated land in the park.
Yep.
Following closely by Nintendo.
So,
it was a good house. I enjoyed it.
Yep. All right, so we're moving on to the next one, and this is Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins. This is an original house, and the house location was Sprung Tent number 2. House description reads, in the 1930s Dust Bowl era, guests won't be able to resist going inside Dr. Oddfellow's menacing menagerie of twisted odysseys where they will encounter grotesquely distorted animals and freakish fiends. In Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins, the price to enter this creepy cavern is steep as souls feed his immortal power. So we do have a photo for this one, and not a video. So they didn't release any videos for
the original.
So please enjoy. We'll be back.
And don't hit your soul still.
Yeah. All right.
Hope you guys enjoyed the circus.
Well, the art of it, anyway. So, Dr. Oddfellow's Twisted Origins. It was great to have a house from your icon. So, this was definitely on my top for as far as originals go. And also seeing the backstory of basically what all came into effect with Jack and everything.
Yep. That was the icon that we were talking about.
I believe this, like I said, this ranks on my top. I love anything carnival themed. So this definitely had that feel when you went in. Even before you went in, there was a room outside before you actually got inside. So
got the courtyard area.
It was really cool. Also seeing a lot of different things like before you got into the house of Jax and stuff, and
like the wanted posters for Jack and Chance and Oddfellow being wanted. You hear the radio, radio thing.
Yep, and then you also saw Jack's costume hanging up on the rack when you went in on the left-hand side. And be careful because there is one scare on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
So it's like
there's a very well diverse house with us.
But yeah, this one is a house also that got better and better and better, and I really enjoyed this one. This is definitely on my top. So
I enjoyed this house because, like I said, when we said it ties into a specific clown, like he said, it was Jack.
Yep.
So in the house, like I said, out front of the house, the setup was cool with the wanted posters, the radio broadcast playing old school 1930s music, which was interrupted by news articles like, oh, we police from so-and-so are on the tails of Jack the Clown, who is in cahoots with Dr. Oddfellow. We are tracking them to a circus nearby. Yep. Authorities are gathering and getting ready to go. So it kind of sets up the story because, I mean, I'll get into the story later, but the rest of the house, it was really cool because it reminded me of like an old two houses that we had in the past, Carnival Graveyard, along with Puppet Theater from 2021. Smash them together, like all the goofy, crazy stuff that you would find in a carnival. The goons with grease paint and like just stuffed animals, like circus acts gone wrong, like a headless torso person jumping out and scaring you.
You got the Jack Shadow cameo that you saw.
In the house, I'll go ahead and tell the story now.
Okay.
But in the original story for Jack the Clown, he worked with Dr. Oddfellow. He was a part of his circus. He had his own circus acts. Well, Jack was wanted for murders of a certain amount of children, in which he chopped up into pieces and put them in his trunks on his traveling cart. Well, overhearing on the radio of the police coming down saying, oh, we found out Jack Schmidt, Jack the Clown, is working with Dr. Oddfellow. Jack saw fit to try to go to Oddfellow for help. Oddfellow told him, you need to pack up and get the hell out of my carnival because I'm already in trouble with the authorities and I don't need more. Well, when Jack went back to his tent to start packing, Oddfellow came in and murdered him by stabbing Jack and trying to stuff him into a box. Now, you guys are probably wondering why I meant Jack is also immortal along with Oddfellow. At this time, Oddfellow was already immortal. He was already starting to collect souls. So when he stabbed Jack and threw him in the box, Jack made one-ditch effort to jump out of the box and scratch Oddfellow's face, which is why you see the scar, and get some immortal blood on Jack himself. But little does Oddfellow know is that Jack is also going to be immortal and come back for revenge. In which, like I said, this year's event ties into Oddfellow, so he has no idea. He thinks Jack's done and over with. He's gotten rid of him.
Wrongo.
Fast forward to the year 2000, Jack resurrects and is looking for Oddfellow. So that story continued with 2007's Carnival of Carnage, where he caught up with Oddfellow, killed him, took the carnival, took his ringmaster's outfit, and took the carnival and ran. And became Carnival of Carnage. So that's we finally got to see this backstory in a shadow effect in the house where you see Oddfellow stab Jack, pick him up and throw him into a trunk, and then you see Jack jump up and scratch his face. And you see blood shoot out, so it's like, okay, there's where the piecing goes in. But the rest of the house, it was funny, quirky, and just outright crazy like any carnival house would be with circus acts gone wrong. But we're going to leave the carnival now. And we're going to go to my favorite original house. I love this one. We all know, I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Islands of Adventure at Universal Orlando. We had a past attraction here. that was the first of its kind dueling roller coasters, and that house that we did was Dueling Dragons. The house location was Soundstage 24A.
Yep.
The description reads, "The great wizard Merlin has been transformed into the enchanted oak, leaving a power vacuum. When the two powerful warlocks invade his castle to steal his spellbook, they are turned into dragons of fire and ice for their punishments. Now, guests are caught in the middle of their battle and are forced to choose a path and a victor. But beware, one never knows who will win. In Dueling Dragons, choose thy fate."
Yes.
And we actually have a artwork for this one. So, who are you gonna choose?
Fire or ice?
Ice. Always ice for me.
Okay.
I don't know. All right. So, hold on to your seats, guys. This is going to be a 2-hour rant on the house. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to go 2 hours. I'm going to trim it down. How much can I say about this house? Oh my god. Okay. So, I remember growing up with Dueling Dragons.
Shocking.
It was a great house. It was a great ride.
Yep.
It was better when it was Dueling Dragons. I wasn't a big fan when they changed it to Dragon Challenge. Sorry, sad to say. Sorry to you people who like the Potter version, but I kind of grew up with the Dueling Dragons aspect of it.
Original.
So when I heard this was a house, I flipped. I was like, oh my God, how are they going to turn this into a house? And I made a joke. Remember when we were standing in line, I said, wouldn't it be funny if you go through the house and after you pick your dragon, the roller coaster shoots you out of the soundstage?
Dream
if
on.
only. But what I liked about this one is the ride itself, they were already dragons. They were best friends, warlocks, and they were fighting to see who was the better warlock.
Yep.
This one shows them as warlocks, and they're already at war. They're at war with each other. It's like Pyrock, who was the fire warlock, and then Blizzrock, who had the hate frost power, and they wanted to see who would rule the land now that Merlin was gone, because Merlin was turned into a tree by an evil fairy.
Yep.
Well, little did they know, getting to the castle, Merlin put a curse on the spell book that would backfire anybody for trying to steal his book.
Yep.
And of course, both dragons got there at the same time. They touched the book.
Yep.
And then it slowly started turning into the dragons. So you see the transition from warlock to dragons.
Yep.
Anybody in that area, like you would see some of the people turning and everybody like that. So,
yeah.
But the house, oh my god, like we were going, oh, they did that from the ride. Oh my god, they did that room. They even took the room that we absolutely loved in the house or in the ride, which was, there was one room where it was a bunch of burned victims and another room that was frozen, and they compiled the two in the one room.
Yes.
So you would see the molten lava fire, and then you'd see the ice crystals burning down. And it's like, whoa, okay, wait a minute. Like, you walked in, it was the Enchanted Oak Tavern that we used to have as a restaurant. Because we were like, oh my god, they actually did it.
Yeah.
You walked across the drawbridge from the ride, everything. Like I said, the castle walkthrough, when you saw the spell book on the pedestal. And even to the dungeons with the skull, it didn't talk to you this time. But the best room has to be the second to final room. They actually recreated the entrance of Dueling Dragons with the dragons up on the thing. You got one up here and one down here looking at each other and breathing smoke. And then it says on the wall, you go into the split chamber, it says, choose thy fate.
Yep.
And each room, each way you took, it would change throughout the run. So like, if you chose ice, you don't know. There's only one way. There's only one win and one lose. If they jumped out as the dragon, you lost. The dragon won.
Yep.
If they jumped out with Merlin, the curse is lifted. You survived.
You won.
And each cast, it would change.
Yeah.
So, yes, there were 2 ways out, but there are 4 different endings for each. There was 2 different endings for each side. So there's your 4 ways.
Yep.
I loved it. The music was interesting. I think they used a few of the source audios, but others they used stock music, which was we finally found a while ago.
Yep.
But my heart going through. That was my favorite original house that they've done this year. And I would love to see this one come back maybe as an anniversary. Like, I would love to see another Dragon's House. But what did you think of it?
Well, I can't really tell you too much because, unfortunately, this was before my time going to Universal, so I did miss this ride. I never got a chance to ride it. Don't really know much about it. So I was actually educated by you guys on this ride and going in through basically this house. So I didn't really know too much about Dueling Dragons. I can tell you I loved it.
Yeah.
So, but I did like fire better than ice. I've always been a fire kind of guy. So,
ice for me, all the way, ice.
Yep. So, it was cool though, trying to guess whether or not we've won or not, whether or not Merlin would come out when we got to the end, and I can tell you I kind of lost more than I won.
I didn't really care.
So, but no matter what, it was a fun. But we like to guess even before we got in whether we would win or not, which is really cool.
And what would happen is we would each night we would switch. So if one night we ended with fire, okay, the next night we would go with ice.
Yep.
Okay, we did ice before, let's go back to fire, and then back and forth.
Yeah.
So we didn't know what we were gonna get. Like we knew what path we were gonna take.
Yeah.
But at the end, you don't know who was gonna win. It was either Merlin or the dragon.
Which reminds me of a fun fact that we kind of missed talking about Universal Monsters. You never knew who was going to be around that corner. So I just got to thinking about that. They did that too also in Monsters.
Well, the difference was with this year's Monsters, all 4 of them jumped out. So you saw, whereas in Legends Collide, you didn't know who was going to win.
Yeah.
But that's the one that you were talking about.
But yeah, this house was good. Dragons was definitely good.
Well, one fact that I just remembered, this house actually had homage to a scare zone that we had in 2005.
Okay.
Everybody knows it as Dragon Forge, aka Tangleroot Fire Pits, from Halloween Horror Nights 2005, The Tales of Terror. If you've gone to the event, there's 2 shields in the actual walkthrough that were the Tangleroot Fire Pit logo with the wings. And when we saw that walking through, I was like, oh my god, that's Tales of Terror. They actually gave it a shout out because in the lore of Tales of Terror, the Tangleroot Fire Pits were in the medieval town, and it had dragons and various creatures.
Yep.
So a nice little nod to the Horror Nights past. Whoever came up with that idea, smart.
But again, before my time. 2005, I didn't get to go. 2006 was my first year, so I
missed out. Really,
I missed that one too. I'm sorry. Started in 2006, Sweet 16. So. But anyways, we're moving on now to our next house. All right, it is another original. It is Yeti Campground Kills, and the soundstage. It was 24B. That was the house location. House description reads, in the 1950s, a campground, a group of towering, terrifying Yetis are running rampant, ripping apart campers, rangers, and anyone else that gets in their way. In Yeti Campground Kills, guests must flee through the campground into cabins, a bait shack, and even the outside in hopes of making it to the Ranger Tower before it's too late. So we do have a wallpaper for this one. No video as always. So please enjoy.
Don't get ripped apart,
and
please.
Don't get ripped apart. Watch out for the little Yeti. He does exist.
Try telling that to Billy.
Okay.
All right.
We made it out of the woods and into a
it's a shame Billy didn't
cabin. Okay, so I thought on Yeti Campground Kills, it's kind of cool that we keep getting this these houses with different Yetis. You know, we had one a few years back.
It's the running joke. They're supposedly all Yetis.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah. So, but anyways, this house was really good. I love the scene in the cabin or whatever where the dog or is it dog or is it a dog or
It wasn't a cabin, it was the RV.
The RV, yeah, and then you hear the splatter like on the window or whatever.
It was the dog's body.
Yeah. But sorry for any dog lovers out there, no offense. But it was just a cool ad that, you know.
I actually showed him that. He actually didn't see it until I told him to watch it.
So
we watched the video. He goes, "Oh my god, I didn't know that was."
The way they placed the Yetis, it was definitely frightening when you first went in because. You'd see ones on the frickin' roof here.
Ceiling coming through windows.
You'd see them in like the sides, and when you're coming around the corner, and just
they're
like
everywhere.
It was everywhere.
The funny campy
and
side.
Of course, everyone can't forget about the little Yeti. It was cool seeing him.
He did.
It was cool seeing him run around. So it was a fun house to go through. I really enjoyed myself. Your
Very
thoughts?
campy. Excuse the pun.
But your thoughts?
I thought this house was really good, and also we forgot to mention House of the Year.
Yeah,
goes to Yeti.
Congratulations.
I love walking through this one. There's a lot of references. I like that they gave reference to Shadow Creek.
Yep.
Being at the Yellowstone National Park.
Yep.
Walking through the house was really cool. I mean, a lot of the scares are funny. The smells, you can smell like the s'mores at the campfire.
Yeah.
And also HHN Bear making an appearance
he was
in the
in
lodge,
this.
the
Correct,
Crushed
yeah.
Lodge.
HHN Bear was in here.
We also had a friend in this house, a few friends.
Yep.
And we just love the love and support that they give us whenever we go through. I mean, it was a great house. I mean, and like he said, the running joke with the Yetis, because the first year that we've done Yeti was actually Slaughter Cinema.
Yep.
It was supposed to be Skunky.
Yep.
The second version was actually a Yeti. It was actually the Abominable Snowman. And now this one was Bigfoot, Sasquatch. So it's like, okay, the running joke that the creative team says, oh, they're all Yetis. So it's like, okay, all right, let's see where this goes. But no, I love this house. It was really funny.
Yeah.
A lot of great scares, a lot of funny moments.
Yep.
But no, definitely a good house.
The one of the scares that did get me because I don't like snakes.
Oh God!
You know the one I'm talking about, the freaking one in the toilet.
I know why they added it too.
And it's right there, and I literally came around the corner. I'm like, what the heck is that? And it's a freaking snake, and I'm like, no,
You know why they added that, right? One of the creators of the house,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say who it was,
Yeah.
he's afraid of snakes.
Yeah, well,
so
so
they
am
added
I.
it in, and he didn't know about the scares, and when they walked through, he jumped 5 feet and almost ran out of
So
there.
am I. Nope, not doing it.
But overall, excellent house.
Good
But
house.
we're going to move on to our next house. This one's actually really cool.
Yep.
We had a lot of good friends in this one.
Yep.
The Darkest Deal.
Yes.
House location, Sprunk Tent number 1.
Yep.
The house description reads, in the Mississippi Delta, blues musician Pine Straw Spruce meets at the crossroads with a diabolical entity known as the Collector to make a deal, his soul for musical glory.
Yep.
Guests will witness his big break performing for a crowd before the Collector drags him to Hades with the other musicians who learned the terrible price of fame. And we do have an artwork for that one.
Yep.
The deal is done. Oh, damn it.
You know, that's for you, sir. You know who you are.
All right, so this house was an interesting one. When I first heard about it, I was like, okay, so for fame. This actually ties in the Dr. Oddfellows story, selling your soul for immortality.
Yep.
But there's a price beyond it.
Yep.
This was a really good house. I really enjoyed the walkthrough. It kind of had a little bit of a Ghost Rider feel for me. Like, oh, you sign the contract, and then it's like, oh, I'll come back for you when it's done.
Yep.
So I was like, okay. But a lot of scares. We had a lot of good friends in this house. You guys know who you are.
Yep.
Lots of love and a lot of scares.
Great job.
But I really enjoyed the story, and yeah, I thought it was pretty good. What do you think? The music was interesting, though. It was
Really?
a lot of blues style.
Yep. Really liked it. This was definitely on my top. But I will say this. don't go in this house to start out when it's sunny.
No,
Because
don't.
let me tell you this. We went through this house multiple times when that happened, and it is pitch dark. And you'll run into things, like, without even knowing that they're there. Like, it's just, your eyes aren't adjusted, and it's just pitch black, dude. You can't see anything in this house, because this house is so dark when you go in.
Well, it's funny because fun fact, you mentioned how dark it is. When they first built the tents backstage, they weren't dark. They they were actually so bright that you can see everything in the daylight.
Yeah.
So what they did was they actually sprayed the under part of the tents black.
Yeah.
And put like covers over, like they put an undercovering inside the tent to block out the light. And now it's like you walk in from the daylight and you're just like, I can't see in front of me.
And I know this happens with a lot of the houses, but on this one particular, man, I don't know how many times we ran into stuff because we just could not see anything. So.
And what's funny is we also got almost hit with a hurricane this year, and this house actually had corn.
We were wondering too, as soon as the hurricane season hit, we were like, all right, which friggin' house has the friggin' corn in it?
It was right before, no, or was it? It was the second week or so into Horror Nights.
Yeah.
Because they added on the next week of November, because before we were going to stop on Halloween.
But no matter what, we were like, which one has the corn in it? We know there's one
and
that has
we walked
corn.
in, we walked in and I said, hey guys, here's your corn. And they're like, son of a...
So yeah,
I didn't say it.
If
That's
there's
why.
a house that has corn in it, supposedly, hurricane.
Yeah,
so,
no matter what.
I mean, it's just a curse.
And I already know which house this year has corn.
Oh boy. Anyways, I really like this house a lot, though. I love the deal is done part, what he was saying towards the beginning of it. That was really cool, and the ending of seeing the actual guy at the end was kind of frightening.
When you're in the Hades
one.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was kind of cool. But all in all, great house. I really enjoyed myself.
This house also had a scare that returned from the past that one of my friends did in Ghost Town.
Mm-hmm.
It was the piano scare where they jump out behind the piano, which was really good.
All right. But yeah, we are now moving to our last house. And it is...
This one was good. This one was actually my number 3. Believe it or not.
Blood Moon Dark Offerings. So, it was in Soundstage 23A. And the colonial area, 23A, and the description is, colonial area villagers begin to worship the moon obsessively. When the blood moon rises at their fall festival, they take it as a sign that they must hunt down any non-followers within their village. Guests will need to try not to become the part of the sacrifice, as they gather body parts from the grisling offering in the Blood Moon Dark Offerings. So we do have a wallpaper of this, and we'll be back to talk with this house.
I guess there really is a blood moon rising.
Yeah. Just be careful of the blood moon. Okay.
Sacrifice them.
Anyways, Blood Moon, I thought was a very good scare zone, or a very good house.
Scare zone. Maybe.
Maybe one day. Sorry. I thought it was a very good house.
It was cool,
and it was definitely on my top. So this is one of my top originals, I think. It was one of the houses when they first came out, you're like, I don't know about that one. But it actually was a good one.
Old school horror.
It was really, really good.
That's what was cool about it.
I remember walking in with my fiance one time, and one of the very beginning parts when you walk in one of the very first rooms in
the barn.
Yeah, and then the girl, the lady there that comes out literally all the way or whatever. What does she say again? I forgot what she says. She says something or whatever, but she was holding something.
Unbelievers?
No, one of the very first rooms, I think. I can't remember. But anyways,
I don't remember.
She jumps out or whatever, like this or whatever, and tries to reach out. And there was one time where Kira was literally going past to the next room or whatever, and it got her so good. Just jumps out, and she's like, she's like, ah, and she's like, so I remember that. And but anyways, yeah, it's definitely an old school Horror Nights. I love seeing the people at the very top of the towers,
Bell Tower, yeah.
and you saw them, and they were like this. They were just like,
yeah. Yeah, like they're doing the death thing.
And then they looked at you or whatever, and you were like, oh, it's time to go. So it was a good house. I really enjoy myself. This is definitely on my top for sure for originals, and hopefully we might see another one.
I enjoyed this house because I made a joke going through saying, "Oh look, it's Hocus Pocus if it was a horror slasher film," because you were in an old style village.
Yeah.
No, this house, like we were saying, it's old school Halloween Horror Nights. Much like last year's Hell Block Horror.
Yep.
Everybody said, "Oh, this is so lame," and I was like, "Guys, this is old school Halloween Horror Nights we're talking about here."
Yep.
Like this is when originals were top notch.
Yep.
And this one, when we walked in, I remember our first reactions going in, and we walked in and we looked up. We're like, "Oh shoot, okay, all right, what are we getting into now?" But no, we had a lot of, and what I like too is they reused this from last year's house when they did Dead Man's Pier, how you could see other scenes in the house.
Mm-hmm.
They did this with Blood Moon as well, where you go in one building and you come out into a courtyard and you can see people walking through the other facades going in to the other rooms, and it's like, okay, that's cool. Like how they opened up the kids running around with the pole with the intestines.
Yep.
The creature at the end, and then the room, which I know it's Justin's favorite. He ain't gonna admit it though.
What?
The final room, when you walk by, and you can't tell who's a real person and who's not.
Standing
there
that
like this, and all of a sudden it's like, die! You're like,
yeah,
oh, Jesus
they were in like a.
It was the barn.
It was,
it was the barn at the end of the because remember, we entered the barn at the beginning of the house and we exited the barn where that large figure made of body parts was created.
Yeah.
And they're all just standing like this, and all of a sudden it's like, die! You know, like, oh jeez. But definitely, I like the music. I mean, it was really, really spooky, and I like I said, and one of our friends was a usher in the house, and amazing props to you and everybody else who was in there. But this was actually one of the bloodiest houses of this year, and I was like, wow, man, they amped up the gore in this house. Like, holy crap.
It was great. I loved it.
I was wondering, I was like, man, I miss the years when we used to have really extremely bloody, gory, like, grotesque houses, and it kind of watered down over years. But it sounds like they're really, like, okay, we're making a comeback. We're going to do it again.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the end of the houses.
Yep.
And what do you think? Should we move on to the scare zones?
Yes, scare zones are next.
All right, the first one is the Welcome to Halloween Horror Nights scare zone. We're going to start up with Dr. Oddfellow's Collection of Horror. The location was Front Lot, not Production Central.
Yep.
Because due to the new Minions attraction open, they didn't want to put a scare zone there.
Yeah, elimination.
So they ended up doing just, when you enter the park, it goes straight, and then it goes that way towards Hollywood Street.
Yep.
So the scare zone was, again, the location was entrance area up to the front lot. The scare zone description reads, Dr. Oddfellow will lure guests into Halloween Horror Nights with a promise of immortality. As he lifts the veil on all the horrors to come, they'll soon realize they may not even survive the night. We have an artwork for this scare zone.
Yep.
So don't get collected, please. Please. And don't go with he's faking it.
Yep.
There is no immortality. Only death.
You only want your soul. Okay.
I want your soul.
Can't have it.
Fine. I'll kill him. Just kidding.
Anyways.
This scare zone was really cool. Like I said, it was the opening scare zone to welcome the Halloween Horror Nights.
Yep.
Dr. Oddfellow was there. He did an opening show every so often on his little stage out front of his cart.
Yep.
In which he would explain to you that are you ready to seek the most fearful things that you've ever seen?
Yes.
Will you survive the night? If you do, if you can survive your fear, he will claim you mortal enough to drink his immortal elixir, as he says, that will give you immortal powers.
Yes.
But little does you know, the elixir's fake. The elixir actually takes your soul. And he gives your soul to the Dark Zodiacs in order to stay immortal.
Yeah.
So basically, he's trying to sell you something that's not really there. I mean, he's just doing it to get his side, and he's saying, "The heck with you people! Like, I'm going to take your soul either way."
Thief.
But the scare zone had like a bunch of the creatures that you would see walking around the scare zones, as well as a few of the houses. There were trunks and everything in the streets that would have like a bunch of odds and ends, like just stuff from like the houses and the zones.
Yep.
So it was kind of cool. It was like the opening of Halloween Horror Nights, like welcome.
And again, in the barrels, you saw his actual symbol.
Yes, his symbol is in every house, every scare zone.
Yep.
I don't remember where a lot of them are, but I remember a few of them. But
Yep.
Other than that, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I liked it. It was good. Definitely an introduction to this year, so it's always nice to start off with the icon when you walk through.
Yep.
So that was great placement by the creative team, putting him in front.
And he looked great.
So,
like when they first revealed the look of Oddfellow, which you'll see later on.
Yep.
He looked. I was like, oh my god! Like this guy looks like he's got like I joke around. I say he kind of looks like teeth of a vampire along with cone heads. with like the spiky teeth and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the actor that played him, very well done.
Yes.
And you know who you are because I'm friends with you.
Yep.
So very well job done.
Did a great job.
What did you think of the zone?
I don't know. I told you, like, I liked it a lot. Yeah. So it was great placement where it was, and it was great to see the icon in front. So,
yep. I'm going to let Justin take the next scare zone because this one was actually his favorite.
Yes, it is. It is Dark Zodiac, and the scare zone location was in Hollywood Boulevard, so definitely a big location. The scare zone description is the Dr. Oddfellow has entered a dark dimension to harness the power of the Zodiac and live forever. He twists the signs into malevolent beings who foretell one's doom. As his star rises, yours falls. So we do have a picture for this one, so please enjoy. And
I don't like this one. That's too dark.
Really?
And yes, I'm a Capricorn. That's my zodiac.
Well, I'm a Leo. Goodbye.
Wait, so you're a Ninja Turtle? Leonardo?
Done with you. Alright, that was dark.
Yeah, so what do you want to talk about? It's dark. You couldn't see anything.
Anyways, Dark Zodiac, my favorite scare zone for this year for Horror Nights 32. I really enjoyed the fact that we actually got a scare zone based off of your sign. So, and not only was it that, it was more of like a spookier
like
version,
a dark realm,
dark
like
realm
really.
version. So I would always go and try to find Leo because Leo is mine.
I saw mine. Mine was up there.
Yep, and we found my fiance's too. I really enjoyed this zone. It was definitely detailed in the way they did all the signs, and definitely unique or whatever. Just seeing all of it. So
yeah.
What'd you think?
I thought it was really cool. I mean, it was the only place in the park you'd see the chainsaws.
For sure. Yeah.
It was kind of like a really dark industrial zone. You had barrels and everything like that. There were flames in this one. They used water.
Yep.
It was really, really cool. I liked how they did all the steel work, how they created the Zodiacs out of like steel and iron and everything like that.
They did the sideshows too. Remember that?
Yeah, the little sideshows on the stage. That was kind of cool. And then you see these weird creatures, like all black, and then they have spikes on their face, and they're running around with chainsaws. The girls walking around with really big horns.
Yep.
So I was like, this is really... But the music was just like... It wasn't really music. I actually come to find out it was called Industrial Zone. Industrial Drones.
Yeah.
So what sounded like music was actually the sound of like metal, like. I was like, okay, that's cool. But we're gonna lighten the mood a little bit, and we're gonna head into the woods,
Next
into a
zone.
jungle. Next zone, Jungle of Doom, Expedition Horror.
Yes.
Scare zone location, Central Park.
Great one.
Description: in the 1920s, Dr. Oddfellow ventured deep into the darkest jungle, performing horrific experiments on nature. Now, his monstrous creatures are running amok on the hunt. And we actually have a wallpaper for this one.
Yep.
So, welcome to the jungle. We got fun at getting... No, I'm kidding.
All
So,
right.
did you have fun in the jungle, or was it a rumble in the jungle? This scare zone was really cool. For the area that it was in, like I said, every year, and I'll say it again and again, Central Park has one of the most coolest locations for zones because the trees really give you that overhang.
Yeah, it's nice.
And I kept running around making the joke saying, oh, it's Indiana Jones in the Jungle of Doom. Which, fun fact, Jungle of Doom is actually the second time that we've used this name. Horror Nights 2003, they had a house called Jungle of Doom in Jurassic Park, but it was based off a cannibal colony that was in the jungle.
You don't say. I learned something new because this was before my time.
So, but this was cool because in every scare zone except Zodiac, you will see Dr. Oddfellow in all of his forms, and in this one, he was the adventurer seeking out the crystal skull. Funny as it sounds, Indiana Jones. The crystal skull that gives his immortal power. This is the start where he found the skull and decided to use it on his cane.
Yes.
And start possessing jungle creatures and turning them into twisted forms as experiments.
Yep.
Before sending them to, which we'll talk about in a later scare zone, because like I said, this scare zone ties into another one. I liked the overall area. It was very tight in certain areas, and I liked how every so often you would hear Dr. Oddfellow talking, like, oh, this is where my, like years ago, this and that, like, oh, I found the power of immortality, ha 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 ha. And he would do the whole thing on stage. In this zone, his logo was... when he says that he unlocked the key to immortality, as he's laughing, there's a lightning strike, and it shows the symbol on the back of the tomb, on the back of an Aztec temple, on the rocks. It would flicker as he's laughing, and it's like, okay, there's the first part. Yep. And what he forgot to mention, actually I forgot too, his symbol was in Zodiac. It was in the barrels, on the barrels in the zone, but we just remembered that. Overall, Jungle of Doom, I'd have to say that was probably my number 1 favorite scare zone, because my number 2 is it was a tight tie between Vamp and Shipment.
Yep.
So, but Jungle of Doom, that was really cool. What'd you think?
It's alright. Dude, when I go into Central Park, I look for the pumpkins, just like my wife. I mean, we love that type of stuff. So, but this was on my bottom or whatever. But I did like how the fact that no matter what zone you went to, Oddfellow was there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a cool tie into it. I was probably next door, actually, probably chomping on some tacos, to be honest. Just watching all the people get scared.
Gang walking tacos.
Those were really good.
We'll get into
really
that.
Good.
We'll get into it. You guys will see that.
But yeah, no, it was alright. It was not bad. But on to the next zone.
Time to go to a festival.
Anyways, it's Vamp 69 Summer of Blood. So this scare zone was location in New York, and the description is at 60s Music Fest in small New York town. Guests will jam to a popular bands and follow concert goers until Dr. Oddfellow unleashes vicious vampires on the audience that are out for blood. So we do have a wallpaper for this one. So please
this
enjoy.
one you can really sink your teeth into.
But I'm jamming out. Leave me alone.
No. So, I heard you jamming out, and guess what?
What?
It really sucked.
Oh,
anyway,
man.
go ahead.
Anyways, this zone actually was actually pretty good, not bad. It was cool seeing different side things like different like bar. What do you call them? Like
The little huts. And,
like little huts or
like
whatever, and they're
souvenir
doing
huts,
different things or whatever, like
designing shirts, hookahs,
heads and stuff like that. And then you would have a show on stage where.
There's one doing food.
yeah. So
that was cool.
But it was cool also seeing all the different types of music they played and everything. And
That was a
jamming
fun
out.
track listing move to when I was tagging the music. I was like, oh my god.
And as always, this zone also led right into where our tribute story is. So it's right next to
We'll
that.
talk about
so,
that. We'll talk
which
about
we'll
that.
talk about later on. And it was also in a very big area. New York is one of the biggest scare zone areas we have.
Yeah.
So it was,
I remember back when it was bigger though, because they used
yeah.
to use the two side streets and
Yeah.
then go down Sting Alley. But
yeah, it was a big area, and yeah, I enjoyed it. I love anything to do with vampires and all that. So it was fun.
I thought this scare zone was pretty cool. I mean, and Dr. Oddfellow's symbol, of course, was in this one. It was on when you looked on the stage on the backboard.
Yep.
It actually showed it on the logo, looking down.
Yep.
It was really neat how they did it. Again, vampires and just music was just every year in New York. Again, just like I talked about Central Park, every year in New York, it's something chaotic or apocalyptic, like something crazy hell is going on. It's like, okay, what the heck is going on here?
Yep.
I loved all the characters. We had a lot of good friends in this scare zones. Or in the zone, so props to them for all the love and everything like that when we walked through each night. So, but no, I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of fun side things going on where two vampires would go up on stage and attack one of the singers and stuff like that, and then they would start jamming out on the stage, showing their teeth, just like, I was just like, you guys are crazy.
Yeah, they had the motorcycles too next to the stage too.
Yeah,
which was pretty cool.
The vampire killer, or they also had a car.
Yeah.
What was their name?
I don't remember.
Bloodsucker? No, Blood Killers. I don't know. Vamp Suckers. I don't know. I can't remember the name, but it was a funny name.
Yep.
But
yep.
We're gonna move away from New York and head over to San Francisco for
last year.
We got some shipments coming in. This location, Shipyard 32.
Yep.
Horrors Unhinged. Fun fact, Shipyard 32. 32 years, Halloween Horror Nights. Scare Zone location, San Francisco. The description reads, enter a 1940 San Francisco shipping yard full of mysterious crates and cages bearing Dr. Oddfellow's symbol. There you go. Beware, his nightmarish oddities have now escaped, spreading fear and chaos in their wake. And we actually have a photo for this one.
Yep.
That is if I don't sync it first.
But sir, you're shitting.
My shipment was delayed by 4 days. You stupid... Never mind. Don't let it happen again. Okay. This zone was actually really cool. Again, tight area. This area is always a tight location for zones.
Yep.
Like I said, it was really cool because it reminded me of an old house of a house and a zone that we had there. Dead Man's Pier, Dead Man's Wharf.
Yep.
And as he just reminded me, was this zone also had monsters that we've had from the past Horror Nights.
Yep.
Because I remember hearing the story that Oddfellow was actually another pawn, not really a pawn, of Fear himself. But Oddfellow would do Fear's biddings and be like, okay, drop a monster in here, and Oddfellow would go and do it. I forget what Oddfellow's tag would be from Fear, because I know, because like the other ones, Vengeance, Chaos, I know he's something, but I don't remember what it was exactly. If I find it, I'll figure it out. But this scare zone was really cool. There was like a lot of dead bodies from the shipyard crew laying around or half eaten or getting dragged into a crate, because you would walk by a crate and all of a sudden you hear like, and it was like, all right. And I forgot to mention, jumping back to Vamp real quick, Oddfellow was in that zone. He was a Afro vampire with a headband, and the headband actually had the logo.
Yep.
Now, in this scare zone for Shipment, he was actually a werewolf. He jumped out because you couldn't tell. His symbols were on the crates, but he also, around this time, had the scar from Jack. Again, going back to his timeline, where him and Jack had that tussle between each other.
Yep.
But overall, tight scare zone, kind of cool. I liked all the sound effects and all the creepy music, but it was a good zone. What'd you think?
And you had the also, I thought it was good. You had the one scene where the truck or whatever with the cell or whatever that was back there.
Oddfellow's truck, whatever he was carrying, I guess broke out.
Yep. So I would always look back there and be like, what's in there?
And fun fact, that truck was used last year.
Yep.
In Sweet Revenge.
Yep. So
they reused it.
But yeah, no, I thought it was really good. Excellent scare zone or whatever. I like seeing different past monsters from the different past years. So it's always nice when they can bring stuff back.
They had like Nosferatu. I think one of the Nosferatu vampires was in there.
Very appreciative. I also think I saw. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I saw one from Tooth Fairy in there.
Yeah, I did see that one.
So I remember that from Tooth Fairy.
And there's also workers running around with like bloody tools, like they were trying to kill monsters with these tools. And
but
it's like, all right.
That's pretty much it for all the scare zones. Did this one win House of the Year? I believe it did.
Nope, Scare Zone of the Year went to Vamp.
Was it Vamp?
Yep, Vamp 69.
Okay.
Ended up winning the Zone of the Year.
So the house the scare zone we talked about before this one is the Scare Zone of the Year. They also had different rides and attractions open, as you know, Red Rocket, Transformers, Revenge of the Mummy, Escape from Gringotts, because as you know, the Diagon Alley was open with the Death Eaters, and Men in Black. And we also had a Megan roaming performance. Also around here, based on the Megan movie, and
I think we have a video for that, don't we?
We do.
Well, I guess we could throw that one in here
right.
now that we're talking about Megans.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen the movie, the Blumhouse film Megan came out that year, and it was a successful hit, so they decided to bring it in. And when we heard about it, we thought, okay, it's probably the Roaming Chainsaws. No. It was actually a dance group, a flash dance mob that would come out in the middle of in certain areas and come dance. And we actually thought, okay, this is cool. This is really cool, but
we'll throw that in there.
Speaking of flash dancing, let's get to it.
Yeah.
Just don't flash, please. I don't want to see that. Not from you. The only thing that flash is that bald head of yours.
Slap right across your face. Take care. Gonna get you good.
All right, we're back.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. It was
Megan.
based off the Megan movie that came out that year, Blumhouse.
Yep.
They had 2 locations that they played at, or they performed at. One out front of Louis near Chucky, and then the other one was out front of Mel's, which was closed because of refurbishment.
Yep.
But
thought it was
Megan's
good.
not the only show that we have. I think we have one more.
Yep.
Yeah, actually we do. The next show is called Nightmare Fuel, Revenge Dream.
Yep.
The location, Fear Factor World Expo Stage.
Yep.
The show that sparked the darkest of dreams has been reignited. Nightmares burn out of control as pyro and aerial performers fire guests up to the beat of metal and electronica. And I think we have a photo and I think we have a video.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and fire that one off.
Yep. Solid dream.
The nightmare you are about to experience contains fire, pyro, and flashing lights. It is dark and adult in nature. If you find any of these wicked visions offensive, you should leave this dark dream immediately. For those who wish to stay, welcome to the nightmare.
The nightmares will come for me. Every Halloween, these nocturnal spirits haunt my dreams, waiting to drag me to my darkest depths. My demons, my desires, my fears. Tonight, the nightmares will come for me. But this time, I'm fighting back.
Welcome
but you don't own me. I'll let you play the role, I'll be your animal. My mommy likes to sing along with me, but she won't sing the song if she reads all the lyrics. You could say the men I know. So you're a tough guy, like you're really rough guy. Just can't get enough guy, just a whistle tough guy. I'm the bad type, make your mama sad type, make you go for mad type, let's seduce your dad type.
Okay, so that was Nightmare Fuel.
How'd you like that?
It was a nightmare.
It almost caught me on fire.
It was also a dream. Anyways, we're now going to get down to the food and the merchandise for this year's event. Here's just a few pics of the food
and the merch.
And the merch or whatever. This year's event. So, yeah, kind of give you a little taste of basically what it was like either getting food or merch when you were either hungry or wanting a piece of Horror Nights past. So.
Enjoy the food, just don't eat me. I'm not edible, and that's cannibalism, and it's frowned upon.
All right, guys, please enjoy.
Have fun. Enjoy the mood and enjoy the food and the merch.
We'll be back.
Oh man, I'm hungry. I'm devouring all that food. Actually, no, I'm still hungry. Hope you guys enjoyed the food and the merchandise. They had again each year they have a lot.
Yep.
If I was to throw in my two favorites for the food, I know you're probably gonna kill me. The Last of Us ravioli and the Last of Us stew is actually my two favorite foods.
Yeah, I actually really liked the pizza a lot. The raviolis were also good. Yuri's favorite. I would definitely go to if I needed to basically get some energy.
That was pretty cool, like how they did that, especially with the Reese's Pieces. I was just like,
yep. And I also loved the burger. I got like a couple.
The blood burger.
I got a couple of those actually at the event, and I really enjoyed those.
I think Robby's favorite too? I'm not sure. One of you guys liked the popcorn chicken from.
Yes, popcorn chicken, Chucky. That was also really good.
I remember when I tried a piece because I already had problems with my stomach. So when I ate it,
I gave you a piece. I said, "Hey, you want to try it?" And then you tried it, and you were like, I was like, I warned you.
No, the ravioli was pretty good. I mean, for the portion. I loved the stew because of the rice and the chunks of meat. I wasn't a big fan of the mushrooms, but I'm like, yeah. But, all right.
So now we are going to go ahead and give y'all a glimpse of the tribute store for this year's event.
Yep. So let's go ahead and roll that footage, and then we'll talk about it.
What a tribute.
Enjoy. Ha 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 ha. Boom. That was the tribute store.
Yep.
I actually enjoyed the tribute store because of Legendary Truth.
Yeah, that was good.
It was really neat. I like the room where you're in Boris Schuster's. Kind of looked like you're in the middle of the location to make it feel like old noir.
Yep.
Kind of like LA noir games and stuff like that, or Mafia.
Yep.
So it was kind of cool.
Yep.
But the merchandise this year was amazing. They did a good lineup.
Yep. So. And what was the thing they did again? It was like where in the long room or whatever you can pay for something.
It was comic books.
That's right.
You can become part of a comic
book. We actually had a friend who ended up doing that. We found him. So.
We had a bunch of friends that did it.
Yep. So
yeah, the first room looked like an old graveyard.
Yep.
And then it was cool because one of the rooms, I made a joke saying I feel like I'm back in the Great Movie Ride because you're walking from the graveyard to a back alleyway and you hear an L train above you.
Yep.
And then you go in the Boris Schuster's office from Legendary Truth.
Cool.
And it felt like it was raining.
That one. And then,
go down the hallway. It was
comics,
and then you go into an old diner, which is neat, and then into the sewers under the streets where it was kind of cool. Like they did a good job with the store. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so now we got the park map for you guys,
as well as I think we'll do the park map and the archway.
Yep. So we have the archway as well. So please enjoy these photos.
Alrighty.
Alright, we hope you enjoyed those.
And we also have another video. I think we'll do we'll show you guys the opening ceremonies.
Yes.
Now, there was a little difference to this one this year. As you know, we don't have the stack of giant speakers out front of the candy store.
Yep.
Because they decided to amplify the audio much louder by setting up a steel rig at the center gate.
Yep.
Right at the turnstiles, and there's a giant subwoofer, as well as 2 speakers out to the side, and you can hear it all the way out the arches.
Yep.
So if you were in the back under the arch, you can literally hear it.
But it was a good ceremony. I liked it a lot. It was
cool. It's really cool. And this is the introduction of Dr. Oddfellow. Believe it or not, he's introducing you to Horror Nights. So
enjoy this.
Enjoy this one.
Enjoy the ceremony for Halloween Horror Nights 32.
Don't be scared.
Odd.
Damn.
Hear my voice, Halloween Horror Nights. I am Dr. Oddfellow. I've been watching you. For years, I've seen you shaking in fear, yet begging for more. You've heard the words of those who stood here before me. Doctors, directors, even clowns. But I'm not your program here. I want what you want. So what is that? Fear, horror? I promise these can unhinge your soul and prepare you for something more. Power, immortality. That is what I'm after. Enter now, as this horror night begins!
Alright, that was the opening ceremony.
I actually enjoyed the opening ceremony. I thought it was actually pretty cool.
Yep.
They did a good job with it.
And,
Alright.
And now they have what? You said the speaker system now? Yeah.
Yeah, so this year we got rid of the stack of speakers that was over by the candy store.
Yeah,
so, because they wanted to go louder.
Our old one was bit the dust, I guess.
The old one finally bit the dust. What they did was they set up a steel rigging around our center gate area and put a large subwoofer and 2 speakers up high in the air, which can amplify audio triple the amount of times louder than what it was. So anybody standing out in the archway in the courtyard can actually hear it.
You're going to hear it.
So
it sounds really good, though.
Really loud, which was good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Alright. Now we got
the jump to Cabana Bay.
Yep. We have another we have a Cabana Bay experience that happened to be in Cabana Bay, and it was the Chucky was it Chucky, right?
Yeah, Chucky experience.
Yep. So go ahead and have fun with that. Check that out. We'll be right back.
Alright. I heard that thing go off behind us.
Hi.
It doesn't matter what way you go. I'll follow y'all, okay? Stand right here. But if you don't stand,
Chucky. Look out. Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Ew, what is that? I've killed more people than age zero into the perfect horror show.
Alright, we hope you guys enjoyed that. It was full of laughs. And slashes. I guess we can do... we only have a few videos left, so I think maybe the television commercial.
Yep.
The Scream Squad.
Oh, yes.
Round 2. Round 2, yeah.
Alright. Alright, guys, so enjoy the commercial for this year's, or last year's event. Halloween Horror Nights 32.
Yep. Enjoy. Summon your squad.
I just survived Halloween Horror Nights alone. Looks like the rumors aren't true.
You're not alone.
Did you forget about your sister?
You know we just got here. I was recording.
What is that? I've seen this before.
Yeah, me too.
Come on.
No.
Absolutely not.
Come on.
Whoa.
Oh, weird.
This isn't creepy at all.
What is this place?
This isn't on the park map.
Guys? You guys? Oh, this isn't funny.
What is it?
Help! Help, please! Somebody!
Help!
drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop, drip.
Where am I? Hello? Sophia, is that you?
Ava?
Sophia. 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 Please, Sophia, come on, wake up.
Don't be afraid. Belong with me. Summon your Scream Squad to Universal's Halloween Horror Nights. Featuring Stranger Things, The Exorcist, Believer, The Last of Us, and more.
Alright.
And that was the commercial.
Yep. Alright.
And that comes to the end of Halloween Horror Nights 32.
Yep.
No, okay.
There'll be other years.
There will be other years, but we hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed making it.
Yep. Yeah, we do have a slight tease of next year's event for Halloween Horror Nights.
We were a little
33.
skeptic on putting this one in, but we decided, you know what, let's do it.
Let's just do it. Yep.
And then yeah, like and subscribe his page.
Yep.
For more. Also double check my friend Robby out on Retro Robby on YouTube. Show him some love. He does a lot of good stuff with video games if you're a huge gamer fan like myself.
Yep.
And I collaborate with him when it comes to audio, much like I do with Justin on these videos. But also like and subscribe for him.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys later on. I would say later on this year, but I mean next year by the time we get this, by the time we get the next one up.
Yeah, busy schedules, man.
It's tough. It's tough, but we look forward to this, and we know you guys enjoy.
Yep.
These videos, and you're asking, oh, where have you guys been?
Yep.
Where's the next video?
Yep.
It's a lot. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of setting up, getting everything together, but the scheduling is the hard part.
All day thing. Yep.
So, but
all right.
Any last words for you?
Nope. We'll see you in 33.
We'll see you soon, guys. Hopefully.
All right, guys.
See you in the fog.